Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
Also brought to you by Roper's Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Ort Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is the 5th of May, Cinco de Mayo, 2021. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember that the life you save may be your own. If you're celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday as well. For those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. And we hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. For those of you who are infirmed, whether at home or at a medical facility, we want to wish you a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they rise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Ort Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. This morning, the radio voice of Silver Fox, Mr. Paul Akal, waiting to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and the 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on the telephone, email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And, of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. This morning, we're going to continue our discussion about the COVID-19 vaccine program here in the Cayman Islands, and we have Dr. Hazel Brown in the studio with us. We also have another guest, and we will reveal the name of that guest later on. But I want to start the show this morning by saying our reasons for having Dr. Brown, for having Dr. Lee, and any medical expert is to help to promote the taking of the vaccine in the Cayman Islands. So I make no apologies for that. I tell you exactly what our intentions are. We are here to encourage people to take the vaccine. Not to force anyone, but to encourage them. Also, to provide you with pertinent information if you are hesitant about taking the vaccine and you have questions, to provide answers to those questions that you may have as well. It is really not intended to be a forum in terms of the pros and cons of vaccines. We're going to be discussing the pros in terms of why it is important for you to take the vaccine. And if that sounds as if we're a little bit slanted and we're a little bit biased, remember what I told you earlier. The show is intended to promote the taking of the vaccine, and that is what we want to do on the show. So first, before I pass the mic over to Dr. Hazel Brown, we will share with you yesterday's figures in relation to the vaccine, and then Dr. Brown may have some more current figures. But yesterday, Dr. John Lee, the Chief Medical Officer, reported that 231 COVID-19 tests had been carried out since it was last reported on Monday. All of those were negative. The total number of COVID-19 vaccines administered to date, 68,459. So far, 36,709, which represents 56% of the estimated population of 65,000, have received at least one dose of the Pfizer vaccine, with 49% having completed the 2-dose course. 70% of those persons eligible over the age of 16 have at least one dose. And of course, the Public Health Department urges members of the community who have not yet been vaccinated to do so before the 9th of June 2021 to meet the expiry date of the last scheduled delivery of the vaccine. So with that, I will say good morning to Dr. Hazel Brown. Welcome back to For the Record. It's been one day between shows, but if we have to continue to hammer it home, we will continue. We're not going to twist anyone's arms, but we're going to give them all of the relevant information that may help to have them feel more comfortable either to take the vaccine, or if they feel that they still don't have the answers, then they simply make the decisions themselves. Dr. Brown.
Thank you very much, Mr. Osei, and thank you for all your support for the vaccination program. The reason that I keep I haven't given up yet on my people getting this vaccine is because of the seriousness of the acute respiratory distress syndrome, as it was called initially, and the impact that we know it can have on our nation. And I use the term nation carefully, knowing that we have to acknowledge that we're a territory, yes. Right? Because while for most of us we think of this illness as an individual illness and as a condition that creates hardship for an individual, for a family. The truth of the matter is that the health of our people is really the foundation of our economy. And our economy cannot continue to remain closed. And unless we can get some measure of protection within our population, when we do reopen this, our health system can be completely overwhelmed and bring our economy literally to its knees. Mm-hmm. So while I want to protect my family, I want to protect my grandchild, my grandchildren, my siblings, my elderly mother, it's much bigger, it's much broader. And as we were saying yesterday afternoon on another show, we were talking about the common good and the greater good, mm-hmm, and all those things. Our society and global society has actually moved beyond, in its increasing sophistication, moved away from the common good and the health of the public to looking really at individual rights. And I think COVID has brought back to the forefront the whole value of public health and the health of a population and the impact that can have on not only our local economy here, but the global economy. Mm-hmm. So I continue to press forward with this, and I put my focus often on the generational Caymanian, because that is where I am seeing the most significant hesitancy on this, in the uptake of this vaccine. And I keep saying that we've been victims of our own success. And this morning, I'd like to thank Joseph Anderson for joining us this morning. Joseph was one of our star patients from last year. I'd never seen his face before this morning. I know his voice. Yes. I heard that voice in the night, in the day, in the morning, in the evening. We were in constant contact with Joseph, and he has come forward willing to share his experience with us, so we get a kind of personal view of what it is like to have COVID.
First-hand information.
First-hand information, sharing with us all the difficulties. And I think probably some of the greatest difficulties were the emotional difficulties of being isolated for so long. Along with just the significant physical impact of the illness. And we also have another patient, and I'm hoping that he's going to get on to some show with us. He's given me permission to share his story, but I'm not going to share his name unless he actually is physically with us. Certainly. And we want to get that point out, and then look at how, if we extrapolate that, if we get hundreds, thousands of these experiences across our population, the impact that it can have on our economy.
Definitely. Okay, so we're going to take a commercial break, and then when we return, we will introduce Mr. Anderson and have him share his experience with us and our listening audience as well. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
On May 6, 1835, the Abolition Act Proclamation was read by Captain Anthony Pack at Pedro St. James on orders of the then Jamaican Governor, Lord Sligo. Lord Sligo sailed to the Cayman Islands on a British-owned battleship called the Fort to deliver the document himself. Pedro St. James was at the time the largest home in the Cayman Islands and was being used for parliamentary proceedings, a courthouse and a jail. The document abolishing slavery was read from the landing at the top of the stone step at the Great House. At the time of the abolition, there were approximately 985 slaves on Grand Cayman who were set free.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
We are telling you ahead of time, giving you the heads up to get ready. The black tie affair with a circus twist. Step right up. The annual gala hosted by Rotary Central for the Alex Panton Foundation. Saturday, May 29th, Marriott Beach Hotel Ballroom. Step right up. Support the Alex Panton Foundation, dedicated to serving and preserving young people through vulnerable times, mental health intervention, treatment, guidance, preserving life. The ambience of a circus affair. Tickets are limited, tickets are precious. Get your tickets from Rotary Central members. Go online to Rotary Central and the Alex Panton Foundation Facebook pages. Rotary Central and the Alex Panton Foundation. Rotary opens opportunity.
It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Ropers. Appliances, dishware, bulk foods, and so much more. With huge savings. Ropers is stocked for your hurricane supplies. Don't cut back on your needs. Cut back on your spending with Ropers. Your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Ropers Enterprises. 122 Industrial Way. Call 949-2511. Clean up your spending with Ropers. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vamt Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast, and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vamtmotors.com or stop by Vamp's Service Center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vant Motors on Walkers Road.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Hazel Brown. She's here again promoting the vaccination program in the Cayman Islands, encouraging everyone who needs to, who wants to, or who should be vaccinated to go ahead and take advantage of that before the 9th of June. Is that?
9th of June for the first dose,
9th
yeah.
for the first dose. So, we're making a real blitz to get persons vaccinated. A lot of hesitancy out there. But there's a gentleman in the studio with us who has gone through the experience of contracting COVID-19. His name is Mr. Joseph Anderson. Mr. Anderson, good morning, sir. Welcome to For the Record, and thanks for being so brave to come on the show to share your experience with us.
Yes, good morning, and thank you for having me, actually.
And go right ahead. You have the mic. You can.
Well, when I got the call to come and speak, I eagerly accepted, simply because I think I represent a segment of the population that thinks that they're healthy, young, fit. I mean, just nothing can stop us, and so I think I represent that segment of the population, the doubters, right? Because that's what I was before getting this virus, right? So I'm glad to share, and I'm really here to encourage everyone to take the opportunity as quickly as you can, because it's key. It could save your life.
Okay. Can you talk about the symptoms and how?
Sure. Well, for me, really, mine started out, well, that's what I thought, just as a simple cold, right? I was having fever, started out with having fever, joint pains and stuff like that. I had called the Flu Hotline at the time, and they told me to take paracetamol because it was just a regular, cold, a regular flu. And so I did that, but then the fever just wouldn't go away. It just stayed there for like 1 week. In and out. So I would have the fever for like 3 hours, goes away, then it comes back, and then I started thinking maybe I have an infection, like, any other infection out there, ear infection, anything that gives you the fever. So I was wondering, but then it got worse. I started experiencing vertigo, where my depth perception was off. I would be walking and everything just didn't seem normal. So I still continue taking the paracetamol, and then I remember 7 days after all of this, I remember when I finally collapsed in the house, basically. Wow. I was walking to the bathroom, and then everything was blocked out. I went down on the ground, but I had my phone with me, so while on the ground, I called my neighbor at the time, and they immediately called the ambulance, and they came to the house, and they said something obviously is wrong. So they rushed me to the hospital. That's when I realized something is off. When I went to the hospital, all the nurses and everybody were in gears, preparing for me apparently, and I'm like, what's going on here?
They're hazmat suits.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody was standing to the side, and I'm like, no, this cannot be real. So I went in, and they had me in this room. They said that they're monitoring me because they're not sure what it is. It could be COVID. And I'm saying to myself, it can't be COVID, because I really didn't believe that it existed. I honestly was one of the persons who thought that it was on these conspiracy theorists out there, are they want to make some money, I always thought that a lot of money is in the pharmaceutical industry. So I'm like, they're creating this to make some money, right? And so I was one of the big doubters. So until that day when I went to the hospital, and they had me in that room for about 4 or 5 hours, right? And everyone who came inside were well covered. And I'm like, please don't do this to me.
Had you been wearing a mask prior to that and practicing your social distancing and all of the...
He was a doubter.
No, I wasn't. And the thing is that I was one of the... This was in March last year, and it finally hit our shores. This was, I think,
one
2
of the early
weeks.
cases.
Yes, after our first cases, right? And so I was really one of the doubters. And I'm fairly young, I'm fairly healthy.
Invincible.
Exactly, I'm good. I was an athlete. This can't, if anything is out there, it can't reach me. So I went into the hospital, and then they did the test, and they gave me an injection. And I felt good. And I'm like, there you go. I'm
walk
good.
home now.
I'm good to go. So I left, and I went home, and then they called me 2 days later and said, you have the virus. Even when they told me that I had the COVID virus, I'm like, there's no way I'm okay. I'm no good. I haven't had the fever in 2 days since doing the test, so I'm good. And then everything just changed. So I don't know if you want to go right into it.
But yeah, we have about 4 minutes before we go to our break, so we can still continue. We want to hear.
It was really interesting, Joseph's whole case, and some of this I'm hearing now for the first time, but because he left the hospital feeling better, walking home. Somebody stopped to give him a ride. Because at that point, we weren't getting results right away. It was taking us 48 hours, sometimes 72 hours to get results.
Okay.
And then when we got his result, and we have to call and say, you're positive, but this cannot be. And then those persons who had stopped to give him a ride, he gave us the information. He couldn't tell us who they were. They had just given him a ride, and we had to track the car and track everything, and then they had to be isolated. And their families had to be isolated, because we don't know what's going to happen here. And then the disbelief, can this really be happening to me? And the kind of desperation of the isolation and all of that sort of thing. And one of the interesting things about Joseph is that he did very, very well for about 2 weeks.
Yes.
And then suddenly the floor fell out,
Because I was thinking I was actually healing. I mean, I was thinking, all right, I'll be out of isolation in 1 week, 1.5 weeks, and that was really hard because I've never been in any form of isolation like that, so that was hard.
And this isolation was at the hospital as opposed to
at his home.
At home.
Because your daughter was in Jamaica.
She had left,
So we had to contact her too, and she had to be, looked at and checked out. So it was traumatic, I think, to say the least.
I was dying for that week to be finished,
and then it kept on going.
It kept on for 8 weeks.
So at some point was he actually hospitalized?
It was just for that time, because I was told at the time we never had enough ventilators because other persons were contracting the virus, and they kept it for the more serious.
I think it was more like probably about 12, but it wasn't long.
No,
it wasn't very long, because
hours.
What we did with most of our cases last year was we kept in touch, and we would go and check if we needed to, the public health staff. We had to do the shopping because this was like early cases. I think you were one of those who would call in the order, and we would go pick it up and drop it off. And I really need to express our appreciation for some of the supermarkets. Kirk and Foster's were very, very helpful. They worked with us because up until then we didn't have Fresh Shop. The website wasn't up, but they would allow take the orders from the persons, and they would even allow the public health staff in to come and fill the order, and environmental health gave us some staff, and we had some volunteers out of the community who would come and shop for us and help us to do the deliveries to persons who were in isolation. So it really was a very broad effort across it, and to support persons who are in isolation. But Joseph was pretty special because he was really ill on his isolation. He wasn't just isolated. So there were numerous phone calls in any given day. It wasn't just like this one phone call a day to say, how are you? Are you having any symptoms? It was always something's changed in his condition, and he would call and say, well, this is happening now. And it was a lot of conversation and support.
Okay, so we've reached the top of the hour for 8 o'clock news. When we return, we want to hear from Mr. Anderson in terms of 14 months down the line. Sure. How is he feeling now? How severe were the effects that he had? Like you said, he's a young man, active, quite, if you look at him, physically fit and everything else, and the results and the after effects may be quite different from others as well, and it is important to know that as well. So folks, please stay tuned. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation with Mr. Joseph Anderson and Dr. Hazel Brown will continue, so please stay tuned.
Radio Cayman Time Check is now 8 a.m. This time check is brought to you by our friends at Priced Right.
K-Man, it's time to start paying less for your meat.
That's right. You can now find all your favorite fresh bulk cuts at new lower prices, but only at Priced Right.
We now have new everyday lower prices on oxtail, whole bone and ribeye, plant-based Beyond Beef, and so much more.
So whether you're buying wholesale cuts for your family, a large gathering, or for your business, you need to check out Priced Right's new lower meat prices.
Head to pricedright.ky for more info.
Live better for less at Priced Right.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. We are a not-for-profit, member-centric plan with a democratically elected volunteer board of trustees representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands economy. We have an all-in expense ratio of less than 1%, over 20,000 members, and $490 million in assets under management. We were the first multi-employer pension plan approved by the regulator in the late 1990s, and today we are still strong, secure, and are here for our employees and employers employers alike. If you would like to join or require further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630, the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Changes to the Commission for Standards in Public Life. Radio Cayman's April Cummings reports.
His Excellency Governor Martin Roper announces the appointment of Mrs. Sonia Bush as chairman to the Commission for Standards in Public Life. In addition, Ms. Rosalie Toohey, Mr. Richard Adelson, and Mr. Keith Blake have each been appointed as members of the CSPL. The 4-year appointments went into effect on May 1st, and they join existing member Ms. Isatu Smith, who was appointed on November 1st, 2018. After serving for a period of 6 years, the tenure of Chairman Rosie Whitaker-Miles and member Sheena Hislop recently came to an end. The governor's office says the work of the members during their tenure led to the commencement of the long-awaited Standards in Public Life Act and regulations, an important step forward for good governance for the Cayman Islands. Established under Section 117 of the Cayman Islands Constitution Order 2009, the CPSL is an independent body enshrined in the Constitution to enhance democracy in the country and ensure there is sufficient oversight of the public sector. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
For more information, head to standardsinpubliclifecommission.ky. Island-wide fiber connectivity is one step closer for current and future customers of Flow. The telecommunications company announced on Monday that they're on track to ensure that every Cayman home has access to a fiber connection, which will, quote, enable broadband speeds to be more than 100 times faster than currently available over traditional copper and newer wireless solutions being offered. Last year, Flow spent $5 million on network enhancements and says it will continue to invest in improvements that will benefit current and future customers. The current fiber footprint will initially be expanded to include all of Grand Cayman and provide a significant increase in fiber coverage in the sister islands. And the Public Works Department and National Roads Authority are holding their annual hurricane preparedness exercise today through 1 p.m. The exercise includes shuttering up and other necessary activities required to protect all government buildings and hurricane shelters in the event of a storm. That means public work offices will be closed today. Antigua's Prime Minister Gaston Brown has warned of the possibility of implementing a mandatory vaccination program in Antigua and Barbuda as he criticized persons who are encouraging others not to participate in the National Inoculation Initiative aimed at curbing the spread of the coronavirus. He added, quote, "Well, I want to say definitively to the people of Antigua and Barbuda that we do not have the luxury of not getting vaccinated, and that if we do not get herd immunity, perhaps in the next 60 to 90 days, there's going to be, quote, weeping and gnashing of teeth in this country." Antigua and Barbuda has set a target of 70% of its population to be vaccinated in order to get herd immunity. And Brown said during the vaccination exercise last week, only 100 people took advantage of the program. Now with the check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. The body representing groups opposed to military rule in Myanmar, the National Unity Government, says it has established an armed wing to protect its supporters. It said the People's Defence Force was the first step towards a new federal army that would replace the current institution which seized power in February. The Indian Foreign Minister and his delegation to the G7 meeting in London have been forced to withdraw their in-person attendance after 2 of the group tested positive for coronavirus. In a tweet, Subramanyam Jaishankar said his delegation is self-isolating and is now participating by video link. An international medical charity says it's found what it describes as alarming levels of malnutrition in Ethiopia's Tigray region. MSF said aid rarely extended beyond large towns. A third of children screened in rural clinics were malnourished. Afghan officials say Taliban militants have captured a northern district after security forces withdrew from there following intense clashes. An official from the Burqa district in Baghlan province said security forces were planning to retake the area. Heavy fighting is continuing in the southern Helmand province. The Pakistani military says 4 soldiers have been killed in a militant attack on troops who were working on a controversial fence on the border with Afghanistan. A statement said the insurgents came from the Afghan side to target the soldiers in Baluchistan province. And that's the BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Are you aware of the performance of your pension plan? The Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan provides quarterly fund fact sheets for our members to stay informed with the plan's performance. For the year ended August 31st, various life cycle funds provided returns between 9.2% and 16.5%, and our all-in expense ratio is currently the lowest it's ever been, a record low at 0.72%. Visit chamberpension.ky to review our fund fact sheets. You can see the performance as far back as 10 years. Remember that pensions are a longer-term investment strategy. Focus on the long term rather than the short-term returns. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan continues to perform for you.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
The Progressives invite all supporters and well-wishers to an appreciation celebration. This Friday, May 7th at the Lion Center. The fun starts at 7 p.m. Come and enjoy good music, food, and refreshments. This Friday, May 7th from 7 p.m. at the Lion Center.
With Logic, you get more things you do want, like faster fiber internet, more TV, entertainment, and better customer service. And you get less of the things you don't want, like waiting, boredom, and disappointment. More of the good, less of the bad. It just makes sense. Or should I say, it's logical. See what I did there? Call us or go to logic.ky to find out how you could be getting way more of what's good.
Healthcare Pharmacy, caring about your health for the past 25 years. Radio Cayman's premier health show.
Alzheimer's and dementia, are they the same disorder?
Yeah, I think that's a very important question.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Is heard on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor, where they care about your health. Transfer and refill your prescription online. Visit healthcarepharmacy.ky or call 947-8900. Healthcare Pharmacy, now with a new and second location in Governor's Square. The new Healthcare Pharmacy in Governor's Square is open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we are more than an insurance company. We are family. To learn more about our first-in-class individual and group life, disability and accident solutions, please visit Pan American International Insurance Corporation at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Song Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304 and visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
All right, beautiful Wednesday morning once again, Cayman. Let's take a look at your weather, courtesy of our friends at Pan American Life Insurance. Present temperature now 82 degrees Fahrenheit, but it feels like about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are out of the east-southeast at 6 miles per hour. Relative humidity 73%. Last night's dew point was at 73. Barometric pressure at 30.03 inches and holding. Moderate southeasterly winds and seas will continue across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours in association with a high-pressure system over the central Atlantic Ocean. Our forecast for today, partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of morning showers, mainly over Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s. Winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Later tonight, partly cloudy skies, 30% chance of overnight showers. Temperatures will fall to the upper 70s. Winds will be easterly at 5 to 10 knots and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. We're at a high tide. Low tide is coming up at 12:39 this afternoon and high again at 6:47 this evening. Then tomorrow, low tide is at 12:54 a.m., high at 6:51 a.m., low at 1:16 p.m. and high at 7:28 p.m. Your sunset this evening is at 6:48. Sunrise for Thursday morning at 5:55. The outlook through Friday evening is for continued light winds and slight seas as the high pressure system weakens. That's your latest weather right here on your Radio Cayman.
The 8:10 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by Pan American International Insurance Corporation. Pan American International Insurance Corporation, meeting the life, accident, and health insurance needs of individuals and businesses to ensure financial security and peace of mind. For more information, call 949-8304 or visit www.palig.com. That's PALIG.com.
For over 100 years, more than 5.8 million people across the Americas and the Caribbean have placed their trust in Pan American Life Insurance Group. We have delivered on our promise and have proven that we are more than an insurance company. We are family. To learn more about our first-in-class individual and group life, disability and accident solutions, please visit Pan American International Insurance Corporation at Unit 221, Cannon Place East, North Song Road, Grand Cayman, or contact us at 949-8304 and visit us online at www.palig.com. Pan American Life, people you can trust for life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Achieving your goals is a very rewarding feeling, but at times can feel very frustrating, especially if and when we miss our target. As you approach your goals in life, set yourself up for success.
When setting your goals, break it down. Once the long-term goals are set, work backwards to set smaller and more. These should be specific, measurable, and achievable. For example, study in the library for 1 hour 3 times per week instead of study more. Consider what you need to do daily, weekly, or by the end of the year in order to succeed. Smaller goals allow you to focus on the essential steps today to ensure you are prepared when tomorrow's opportunities become available.
Change your thinking and change your life.
Radio Cayman's Cayman Strong Series was brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. Encourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
All right, here's an update on the traffic movement right now. Looking at the east-west arterial Crichton Boulevard area, traffic has eased up there, but it is still crawling just before the Red Bay roundabout as you try to merge into the 2 lanes. And it's continuing so just outside King Sports Center with slow-paced traffic as you make your way onto the Linford-Pearson Highway, as well as Crew Road, and it's to be expected at this time. And the traffic goes all the way to the Smith Road traffic lights, of course, there. Continuing around the airport runway, And on to Shedden Road, expect that usual traffic in that vicinity as well. Alder Avenue, we got some slow-paced traffic as well. Going through South Sound, traffic is moving good until getting closer to Georgetown. Turning up Walker's Road, traffic is piled up as you slowly approach the John Gray School area. Then traffic is crawling there, similar with South Church Street. Got traffic backed up there as well. North Church Street, traffic as well as you try to make your way into the main streets of Georgetown. And looking at the roundabouts outside A.L. Thompson, we got some eastbound traffic along Northtown Road. As you make your way towards either CSC or the Water Authority, got a bit of traffic there. Godfrey Nixon Way looking good at the moment. Eastern Avenue, some traffic coming off the Esley Tibbetts Highway as you make your way into Georgetown. And that's the usual traffic flow, but of course will ease on up as the morning progresses. Cayman Bracken, Little Cayman, minimal traffic out there. Guys, have a great day. Buckle up, stay safe. Look out for those on foot, bicycles, and motorbikes. And don't be on your smartphone while driving. Your traffic report brought to you by our good friends at Subway.
Things just got a bit hotter on the island. Come in today and order the new spicy Korean subs at Subway. They're sweet, spicy, and especially satisfying. Stop in and try the pulled pork with spicy Korean sauce, or the chicken with spicy Korean sauce. And you can message WhatsApp at 929-4658. Order online or use Let's Eat or the Bento app. The spicy Korean subs at Subway in 2 flavors. Extra saucy and extra spicy. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
I've been looking forward to this barbecue all week.
Don't forget to put out my potato salad now.
How could we ever forget that?
We got everything ready?
Just need the chicken and the ribs. Honey, you have those ready?
Here you go.
Why are they still frozen?
'Cause they were in the freezer.
With no deductible on your home for non-catastrophic events, we're like a barbecue where you didn't forget to defrost the meat.
Are we vegetarians now?
Just eat the rice.
CG Britke. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that.
Radio Cayman News.
A new government in power and new ministerial assignments revealed.
God sets up governments and he brings them down. It's not for me to question.
The vaccines that we currently have will expire at the end of June.
Police are investigating a fatal crash in West Bay.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orit Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning, Dr. Hazel Brown. We also have Mr. Joseph Anderson, who is a COVID-19 survivor, and he's sharing his experience and his story with us. Before I throw the mic back over to him, just want to say today is the parliamentary prayer breakfast taking place at I believe it's at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel as well, and we're being told that there will be a press briefing sometime this afternoon as well, whatever time that is, at 3 o'clock, and will be carried live by Radio Cayman. I'm sure it'll cover COVID-19, and we will hear more from the new government as well. So we look forward to that. But meanwhile, we continue to promote the taking of the vaccine here in the Cayman Islands. We've seen a huge element of vaccine hesitancy here. We have heard Dr. Brown speak about the fact that hesitancy is more evident and prominent in our generational Caymanians than anywhere else. Just scrolling through the BBC website, I see an article here. I haven't opened it yet. Most vaccinated nation, the Seychelles, see a COVID-19 spike. I will look at that and see what has caused that spike as well. But meanwhile, we're going to hear more from Dr. Hazel Brown and Mr. Joseph Anderson. Folks, the mic's back over to you.
one of the things that that I think we need to talk about with Joseph and have him share with us is the fact that we still don't know where he made contact with the virus. We were very blessed that we had no contacts from him become positive. Yes. But in many cases, you won't know unless you practice good respiratory hygiene, hand hygiene, you wear your mask, social distancing. There is really no significant protection from the virus other than the vaccine. The vaccine is also is going to be probably our lifesaver, like polio was back in the 20s and 30s. But without that, there is no way to predict where you're going to come in contact with this virus.
Exactly.
Okay, over to you, Mr. Anderson.
All right. I mean, to the question that Nurse Brown asked, I mean, as it relates to where I contracted COVID, the thing is that it's important to note that I represent just a regular resident like everybody else. I'm at the supermarket. I love socializing. I'm everywhere basically, just like a normal resident, right? And my thing is that if I could have contracted it from the community, because I never traveled, I mean, like 1 year prior to contracting the virus, I mean, I contracted it here. And I'm thinking, the only places I'm thinking this could have happened was at the supermarket or maybe at the airport, or because I'd gone to drop my daughter at the airport. So it could be anywhere in the community, and that's the scary thing about it. And I also believe that a number of persons here had the virus, right? But the thing is that, as you know, there are different strains, right, to the virus. So maybe I picked up one of the worst ones, but there were a lot of asymptomatic cases here, probably long before, we even shut down the country, because we couldn't track the numbers properly.
Well, I certainly believe that it was here before we had the first death, and the first death was an imported case. Yes. It'll be interesting to see how the genomic sequencing links cases, whether, how. I'm hoping that we can get some good, solid epidemiological information out of the genomic sequencing.
Can you put that in layman's terms for us?
So basically, what we plan to do is take the specimens. So the specimens that were taken from all of the positives, all of the positive specimens have been sequenced at the HSA, and they're going to be taken out now, and their actual sequence of their RNA is going to be plotted, is going to be assessed, and you can see, I can't see, but those bright guys in the lab can see just how the pattern of the RNA changed over time as the virus progressed. And we can see, for instance, Joseph may have an identical sequence to another case, and then we can use the dates that they were positive to say, oh, this one's linked to this one. Now, how did it jump from this one to this one? We may not be able to see, but we can see that this virus is identical to this one, so obviously the two of those are linked.
And that can be done locally.
Yes, that's a new service actually that we have introduced. I don't believe the actual sequencing has started yet, but it's something that I'm very excited about because it's going to give us a lot of good information on how this virus moved through our population.
Okay, Paul, let's go to that voice note that we have from one listener as well.
Good morning. What I'm listening for is for people who have underlying sickness like heart problem, kidney problem, all those underlying sickness, how this vaccine react to that. That's everybody else talking a lot of stuff. We want to know the people who have underlying sickness is like that, how that vaccine react to it. That's what we're basically listening for. We want to know the details, the very details about the vaccine and that.
Okay, I hope and I trust that caller is still listening. Dr. Brown?
So, I'm understanding that question to be how the vaccine is affecting persons with underlying conditions. And
And if you could cover also whether, if those persons are hesitant as a result of having these underlying conditions, what should they do?
So, I'll take it in a couple of
stages.
Okay. First of all, we know that the virus itself, that there are poorer outcomes in persons who are, first of all, older, like above 60. The above 50, the chances of a poor outcome increases exponentially with age. And the underlying conditions, diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, chronic lung disease, those are the indicators for poor outcomes and hence for vaccine. We really encourage persons who have these underlying conditions to come forward and get the vaccine. Now, from our experience here at Public Health, where we've been administering this vaccine, we have not seen any poor outcomes from the vaccine with persons who have underlying conditions. So you get side effects. So we're having side effects from just the soreness in the arm. And the truth of the matter is that majority of people have no side effects. Yes. That's what we're seeing. We're getting a lot of people of those who report side effects. The majority are soreness in the arm. We having fevers, some muscle aches. We're getting lymph nodes swollen because, of course, that's where your immune system kicks up. We're having some GI symptoms, some nausea and vomiting. Very, very few allergic reactions, but if somebody is very, very allergic, I tend to take them into the emergency room and vaccinate them in there just to make sure that we're safe. Some dizziness, and I don't have that data with me, but that's kind of my recollection of the side effects. Mm-hmm. But it's not worse in persons with underlying conditions than in the healthy individual. The truth is, and this is again anecdotal because we haven't really fully entered all the side effect data yet, but anecdotally, the older persons are having fewer side effects. So my mother is 93, I believe, 93, no side effects. She said to me, I don't know what you gave me. I had no problem at all. I've had even some of those persons that we take into the emergency room to say, because they're, maybe a little bit more frail or more at risk, no side effects. Young people, majority of them, no side effects, but those who have side effects are kind of what I've described. Now, the more serious side effects, I expect that those will come out because the emergency room has to report those to the public health department. The physicians would report those to the public health department. And we ask people actually when you show up at the hospital with any condition or any problem to say, lead off with, yes, I had my vaccine, so that we can start to make those linkages. Because what we are finding is that some people will come into the hospital, I'm having soreness, I'm having sore throat, I'm having this, I'm having that, but they forget to mention that I actually had the vaccine. Mm-hmm. And we really want to track the side effects of the vaccine to know what to expect in our population. So I hope I've answered the question of the caller. We're not seeing any more side effects with the people who have underlying conditions than with others.
Okay, and if a person has underlying conditions and they're reluctant because of those underlying conditions, what's your advice in terms of consulting their primary care giver or physician before?
So first of all, we as public health recommend that people with chronic conditions come forward. But we do encourage, if anybody has any doubt at all that you consult with your primary physician. We have been given persons with cancer, persons who are having chemo or have had chemo recently, diabetics, hypertensives, of course, chronic heart disease, persons who have had transplants. We've given the vaccine and had no issue from it. But if there is any question at all, even if you show up to us and you voice a question and a concern that we realize that you're not 100% comfortable with taking this vaccine, we're going to recommend that you discuss it with your primary care physician.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break, and we do have a caller on hold, Paul. We will take that caller as soon as we return from this short commercial break, so please stay tuned.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, K-Man.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
The Green Turtle app. So many options. One easy solution. All new subscription feature to automate your weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly top-up. Makes your life easier. Never lose a number again. Keep your children on budget. Yes! Make sure you can stay in touch with your loved one. Woohoo! No hassles. Green Turtle makes it easy. Take a ride on Cayman's Green Turtle Express. Download the Green Turtle app today. It just makes life easier. Remember, you can get mobile gift cards for Xbox, PlayStation, Apple, and Spotify delivered right to your phone. Playtime is now in real time.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Ort Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Hazel Brown and Mr. Joseph Anderson. Mr. Joseph Anderson is a COVID-19 recoverer. If there's such a word, survivor, COVID-19 survivor, and he's sharing his experience with us. And of course, Dr. Hazel Brown is providing all of the medical expertise. And again, we're here trying to promote and encourage persons to take the vaccine if they can. Not twisting anyone's arms, trying to provide all of the pertinent information that you need that may help to make you to make a decision if you are sort of like riding the fence as to should I or shouldn't I take it. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and good morning to your guests.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Just bear with me. I want to put in my 2 cents this morning to do with the COVID.
Okay.
You know, over the years, which Radio Cayman has been around for a long time, and I've been listening to Radio Cayman from day one. And there was a number of times that, you know, I've heard people got on the radio and said, well, we need to do this and we need to do that because this is what America is doing. All right? You see what is happening to America today? They have too many rights. They have rights to burn down police stations. They have rights to kill. They have rights to protest. No, we don't need that here. I think the government, our new government, which I have a lot of faith in, I did in the other one also, but I'm hoping that this government either say, look, we can make this mandatory. You are not holding us hostage for what you don't want to do. We need to get this thing sorted out. Or if they don't want to make it mandatory, well, you know what? You people that don't want to get this vaccine, we can put you under quarantine, and when you do decide to do it, then we can get all of the people vaccinated and get this behind us, because, I mean, I was in more fear of not getting this vaccine than I was getting it. And yes. I don't want to be going into the supermarket and doing my shopping, and like the gentleman say, he doesn't know where he got it, and be in fear of someone not getting this vaccine, and I might catch it again, even though I am vaccinated. I was probably one of the first ones to get vaccinated. Mm-hmm. And if I had to do it tomorrow, I'll do it all over again, because when I'm sitting down there and the nurse is right there, and she said, oh, Mr. Thompson, you can go. I say, I came to get my vaccine. She said, I gave it to you already. I say, you're joking. She said, no, I didn't felt one thing. So I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what the fear is of people not getting this vaccine to protect other people in this country. But please, government, don't let these people hold us hostage. Do something. Put them under quarantine or make it mandatory. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. One of our listeners has written and said, if it is known as to whether persons who are travelers and tested positive, have any of those persons been vaccinated prior to traveling here? So I believe what they're saying is that the person...
were any of our current positives vaccinated previously?
Yes.
I don't have that data. Okay. I don't have it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's even data that we collect, but I can ask, and it would be good data for us to have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, we have another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello.
Go right ahead.
You know what the fear is of this vaccine? Some people say it a little joke, but the fear is that stupid people are going wrong, telling some people that it can still kill us. I've talked to numerous people. This none of my road rumor, nor no loop, nor nothing. I get this from people's mouth. I asked one of my good friends, have you had the vaccine? Her response to me was, why? I am going to get something. I'm well, she said. Why I am going to get something that made me sick? I say, it does not make you sick and kill me. That's what she said. And I say, well, I get it. And yeah, but if you don't know what effects it got in the long run, you can have, and I hear people out there about this one have problem with breasts, the next one have problem, and everything they're blaming on this vaccine. You know, people just like how everything they're blaming on COVID. Well, that's the mentality of some people. Good thing all of us are not the same, or we would be in a hell of a mess in the world. Because some people think stupid. And I've had numerous people, not one, not two, not three, maybe dozen or more, telling me, yes, you don't know what will happen to you in the end. So this is why some are hesitant to take it. Because some people you can't, if you got a nail and try to pound something in their head, you're not going to do it because they're listening to social media and they say that they're not telling us the truth. After yesterday, I had that conversation with about 5-6 people, so that's the problem.
Okay. Well, we have living proof right here in the studio that COVID-19 certainly exists, as well. So we have a caller. I want to thank you very much for that. We have another caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you feeling today?
I'm getting there.
Good.
Yeah, I had my shot on Monday, and about around 4 o'clock the evening, my arm started hurting, and it went through the whole night, and then by yesterday morning, then I started feeling really bad. I started having headaches. I had inside fever. Mm-hmm. I had aches and pains all over, and I felt like my vision was a bit funny. My head felt heavy. I just felt, I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going down here? And then I I took the paracetamol, and I didn't do too bad last night. The arm is still a bit sore, but not as bad as it was when I first got it. Especially when you raise it up, you can feel the pain more.
Mm-hmm. But you got to stop sleeping on that arm. Remember, we talk about that, right?
Yeah, that's my sleeping arm. That's my sleeping arm. I can't sleep on the right. But I just want to say that I'm feeling a whole lot better this morning, and like my son said to me, well, Ma, I had a little fever myself, and now they got the shot. Now you're kind of pretty safe, so the bad feeling will wear away. So it's getting a lot better. I'm feeling a whole lot better. And I was very shocked when I got to the airport on Monday to see how many people was up there. It was like Hurricane Ivan, when the mother was trying to leave the island after Hurricane Ivan. But I looked at the crowd and I was disappointed. I didn't see that many of us. And I know our cultures mix so much now that we really don't know who's Caymanian from who's not Caymanian. But I was looking to see how, if I could see someone of us that, it is what it is. And I just pray that, whatever they got to do, they got to do. I just want to ask Ms. Brown, if this vaccine got expired next month and it's not used up, you can't try to send that to another country and let them use it up instead of letting it raise here on the island because of these ignorant people?
No, we can't. Our vaccine has had 3 or 4 legs in the journey to get to us, and it can't be transported on another leg. So we can't. I mean, we've thought about that, which is why I promised to drink anything that's left over. So I beg my people to come out and help me so I don't have to drink it. But no, we can't, and that's the big push for us. I'm really happy that we didn't get as large a tranche this time as we had the last, because where there's still more vaccine that we potentially could get if we use all that we have. But if at the end of this we have to waste vaccine, obviously we've expended all our effort, and we're going to have to assume that nobody else wants the vaccine.
So those that just got their first job this week here, so you have new one coming in for them for their next visit when they come back for their next visit?
No, we have vaccine reserved for everybody who's had their first dose. We have vaccine to give the second dose. Actually, we're lagging in the persons coming back for the second dose by about, I'm thinking probably about 4,000 people who have had first dose who haven't come back for their second dose. I can actually give the actual figures is 4,500.
Wow.
4,500 that we're still that need to come back and get their second dose. And I just want to encourage people. The first dose gives you some protection, but not the full protection. So we want to encourage people to come back and get that second dose. And you're very right. I relate to what you're saying about when you look at the line, you don't see our people, and it's something that I do. And people look at us. I'm sure they look at us and think that we're a little bit weird because we know our people, right? When we go, I look at the line and I'm like, my people are not in this line. I go inside and I look in the waiting area and I'm like, oh, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can count and see who are our people. And it's the generational Caymanians who aren't coming out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thanks, too, for
Paul,
your support.
You want to take the commercial or take the other caller first? We're going to take the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
And good morning to Dr. Brown.
Good morning.
And it's so good to hear that you're on the radio again, because we understand you explaining and all the information. This is what I want to say, or would like to say. Dr. Brown, you know that we have quite a lot of elderly people in our island. And I so happen to witness that we have more elderly did not even know that an election was going on, don't have radio, don't have TV, don't have the necessity or the necessities that we should have. So I'm wondering, what about, I'm concerned, not only wondering, because we went to visit one or two yesterday, how do they get vaccinated if their families don't even care? Not all of them, heaven forbid me, not all of them, but some of their families don't even care about their living condition, the deplorable living conditions. Some is so far in the bushes, I didn't even know West Bay had that amount of elderly people that are all alone and know, well, they have a helper. And I also witnessed that one or two of those helpers are trying to make it in these places.
So, caller, do you have any suggestions in terms of those persons that you're referring to? How can Dr. Brown go about reaching them? How do we reach out to them? How do we get to them?
This would be my suggestion. Get our voters list. Well, I was doing mobile voting, so that's how I was an observer. So that's how I know, and I knew some of those people before, and some of them I even thought had passed away, but they had no one there, no family member there. Some of them are living in deplorable areas and deplorable conditions.
So we should check then against the voters list in terms of, is that possible, Dr. Brown?
We don't have the voters.
But if you had the voters list, do you have a list of the names of all of those persons who have been vaccinated? We know you have the numbers.
We have a list also. Each district clinic has a list of their homebound persons, and have been reaching out to the homebound persons, but we cannot administer without a consent form. And that's where we've been having some difficulty. We've also had difficulties where part of the family wants the elderly homebound to get the vaccine, the other part of the family doesn't. We've had cases where if the elderly person is compos mentis, if they are able to give consent, we have no problem. They can give consent and we'll give the vaccine. Yes. So what we have been doing, and we have been pushing on these people who are homebound to get the message out to them, the nurses when they visit them, to offer the vaccine and to give the consent form and ask people to have it completed. The family members have been inhibiting a lot of that. Younger family members who are not believers in the vaccine, who refuse to have their elderly vaccinated. What we say is that if you have a family member who you want to have vaccinated and they can't get to the clinic, you only need to call the clinic and give the information. Call me, find one of the public health nurses, go to the airport and give the information, because whenever we're there, the public health nurse there will take the information and we will take the vaccine to the homes. It's an active thing. We've been doing it since the very beginning.
Okay, we're way past our commercial break. We want to thank that caller for that information as well. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Whether you're finishing a new condo, upgrading your rental property, or simply renovating, make Roper's Enterprises your first stop. Quality furniture at a fraction of the price. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices. Roper's, your neighborhood store. Value, integrity. Roper's Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Your home deserves a quality finish. Visit their showroom or shop online at ropers.ky. Ropers, providing products and services for better public health.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Cayman kind.
There's nothing like the smell of freshly baked bread. The warm, inviting aroma, the fresh and natural taste. Just like homemade. 100% all-natural, additive-free bread.
Enjoy fresh and natural tasting bread from the iconic Caribbean bakery. Always delivered fresh to your favorite supermarkets island-wide. Forget the imported frozen and thawed and enjoy our freshly baked selection of quality breads and pastries.
Try our classic white and wheat sandwich breads, coconut and raisin breads, hamburger and hot dog buns, and a great selection of pastries. Feed your family fresh with Caribbean Bakery.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vamt Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast, and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vampmotors.com or stop by Vamp's service center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vamp Motors on Walkers Road.
For the Record with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the Record with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Mr. Anderson has to go to leave us soon. He has to go to work. He lost a lot of time from work when he was suffering from COVID-19. So he has to make that all up now, right?
Oh, yes.
And Dr. Brown, I have several WhatsApp comments and questions as well. One has to do with taking vitamins, and some of the vitamins I can read some of the scientific names. This person has really challenged me in terms of being able to pronounce those. But the common ones are vitamin C, vitamin 2,000 milligrams per day, vitamin D3 4,000 units per day, zinc 40 milligrams, quercetin 500 milligrams, and the other one I won't even attempt to pronounce. But the general trend is whether or not vitamins will help to boost your immune system.
Well, what boosts and you really want to maintain your immune system, and that is through a balanced diet, exercise. If you're eating well and you're getting all your nutrients in a balanced diet, you really don't even need a multivitamin. But if you have any questions, then a good multivitamin will suffice. But generally, just taking care of your health through exercise, a healthy diet, a well-balanced diet, and stress management, and your immune system will protect you.
Okay. Mr. Anderson, I want to give you an opportunity again for some final comments to our audience and about your experience and your advice.
Okay, I'll just summarize quickly and just to give some advice. All right, I'm here speaking mainly to the regular gym members, the regular sports people out there, the regular Caymanians, in my age group who are doubters. I'm saying to you, imagine being in isolation for 8 weeks. Imagine not being able to breathe properly. Imagine thinking that this could be the end for you, right? At any minute. Imagine not being able to walk in a straight line. These are some of the things I went through, and I'm reaching out to my colleagues to come and get the vaccine because, the experience I had, I never thought possible, any at all, because as I say, I'm fairly healthy. at the gym all over like everybody else, and I'm encouraging you to come out and get it. This thing almost killed me. I was on the verge, literally. That's how I felt. And so I'm encouraging you to come and get it. I mean, what are your options? Really, think about it. Right? And to the persons who fear the vaccine, I would advise. I mean, I remember getting my first vaccine at 6 months old. The reason I got that vaccine, I think it was for the tuberculosis, The reason I got that vaccine was because something similar had happened in this world some 50, 60, 70 years ago, right? And they saw the need for a vaccine, right? So we have been getting vaccines all our lives, right? This vaccine is just another one where something came out and we're trying to protect our population, right? Let's not be selfish, because the reality is if 50%, if 40% of the population takes it, I mean, we would not have achieved our goals, right? And we will still leave another set of people exposed. Let's not be selfish. Let's do this as a family, as a team, and get it done, because it is real and it can actually take your life. Okay. That's just my advice.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, and all the best. And you're looking really, really healthy now. But like you said before, you were looking that way and felt the same way too, and still caught COVID-19. Exactly. Dr. Brown, I know that there's a query in relation to the speed of the development of the vaccines and how do we address that. The other one also, and this one person had sent this in on a previous show as well, talking about a vaccine for a person who's 104 years old. But we had a lady call up the other morning and said, gave her age and said her mother was 100 and something and had taken the vaccine and was feeling well as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So on the speed of the vaccine delivery, vaccine, how shall I put it? Virologists all over the world and researchers are constantly monitoring viruses as they mutate and emerge, and coronaviruses are pretty good at changing their face. They're constantly mutating, changing little things, changing on their RNA. The development of this mechanism for vaccine delivery, the mRNA stuff, started with back in 2003 when we had the SARS outbreak, when we were starting to look at how can we develop a vaccine for the SARS virus, which was a coronavirus as well. And that research continued even though the SARS outbreak was pretty much contained. And a lot of the myths around this how shall I put it, the evolution of this particular virus, the development and the appearance of this particular virus in our viral world can be explained by how viruses change and constantly mutate. You just knew that something was going to come at some point in time. With all the mutations that you're seeing in viruses every day, you know that at some point in time there's going to be a mutation that is going to cause some mass infection. It was just a matter of time that a pandemic emerged.
Okay. Top of the hour, headline news, 9 o'clock. When we return, Dr. Hazel Brown is going to remain with us for a little bit longer, so please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Government reported the results of 231 COVID-19 tests on Tuesday. All came back negative. So far, about 56% of the estimated population have received at least one dose of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, with almost 50% having completed the two-dose course. The white former Minneapolis police officer convicted last month of the murder of the black man George Floyd has requested a new trial. Derek Chauvin's legal team have filed court documents alleging misconduct by both prosecutors and jurors. Chauvin, who was captured on video kneeling on Mr. Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes, was found guilty of murder and manslaughter. His lawyer says his client was deprived of a fair trial. And Facebook's oversight board is set to rule on whether former U.S. President Donald Bush can return to Facebook and Instagram. Mr. Trump was banned from both social media sites in January following the Capitol Hill riots. The board is expected to announce its findings later today, according to U.S. media. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio K-Man on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio K-Man app or log on to our website, radiokman.gov.ky.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio K-Man.
Good morning, and welcome back to For the Record. Dr. Hazel Brown is in the studio with me still. I just got a message saying I keep referring to her as Sonia Bush, and I should refer to her as Dr. Sonia Bush. I'm really confused about this one. I think that I've been saying Dr. Hazel Brown all along, but I could be wrong because sometimes you don't listen to what you say. One of our listeners has written in, Dr. Brown, and said, could the public health consider going to the civic centers in each district? That has been done already, and you're basically satisfied with the response in the smaller districts, East End, North Side, or?
Yes and no. We've been into all the districts, but we've used the clinics, and this is a conversation that we actually have in now because we want to do similar to what we've done in Camana Bay. We want to take an event out to one of the I don't know if it'll be the civic centers because we're using the civic centers for testing, but to find a venue in, say, one common venue in the eastern districts that we can do an event to encourage those persons to come out and get their vaccine, and also to do something similar in West Bay. We simply haven't identified a venue that could be as efficient as the venue at the airport or the venue at Camana Bay. And the Camana Bay venue is going to continue throughout this month and maybe going on further depending on the uptake. Anybody who has any ideas of a venue in the eastern districts and a venue in West Bay, we're thinking maybe the venue West Bay could be Ed Bush, but we have to see, work out the logistics on that. The eastern districts we're struggling a bit with because we need to find a venue that we're not currently using for testing.
Yeah. And they also say this, and you're civil servants, I won't have you comment about this, even though it's not really political. It just says that the newly elected government could also get on board with the campaign to get vaccinated before the June expiration. And we do understand that there are plans for the government to start doing some additional promotions as well. And
I believe that I can't say exactly because I haven't gone back to check to see which of them have been vaccinated and who remain. But a lot of them were a part. They came in and were vaccinated during the early days of the campaign. So I believe a lot of the members of parliament are already vaccinated, but we are in conversation with a few to talk about events that we can have, their participation.
Okay, I'm going to try, Dr. Brown. I'm going to ask you to continue talking while I try to find some more of the messages that we've gotten from persons. Okay.
Well, one of the things that, and I'm trying to get the Flu Hotline number to share, because the Flu Hotline is a very big part of our outreach to persons in the community. If you have any questions at all about the vaccination campaign, the schedule, if you want to talk about side effects, if you just want information, please call our Flu Hotline. I was holding on here and hoping that someone would send the number because I don't have it right off the top of my head. And, here it is. Someone just sent it to me. So let me tell, so the flu hotline is 925-6327, 947-3077, or 1-800-534-8600, and I'll give this to you that you can post if we need to post it.
Mm-hmm.
Please feel free. Any questions that are related to flu vaccine, to flu symptoms, for advice on where to seek care, please, the flu hotline is a very, very big part of our public health outreach, and it's manned 24 hours a day.
Excellent. I have a number that I'll give you later. This person I think they indicate that they're in a meeting, going into a meeting, but I think they want specific advice about a person who's 104 years old. Like I said before,
I think I got that yesterday, but I haven't been able to respond to it yet.
Okay.
Because I need to get clarity on that as well. Because when we get down into the super elderly, we need to consider their physical condition, and we need to look at a lot of other things. There are quite a few people who, because of the frailty of their very, very older relatives in their late 90s, and it's their frailty, it's not really their age that drives it. The people are opting to just vaccinate everyone who is around them. Now, we're not talking about the 90, 91, 92, 93, but usually the super elderly, up to 100, and just vaccinate the people around them and attempt to protect them in that way. And this is a conversation that we have with those families, and that decision is one that they make with just the information that we give them. We don't press for that.
Okay. Paul, we have a voice note. A caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just a question. Where can I go get the vaccine? What's the location?
Today, we don't really have a clinic going on. What I will say is, if anybody has if today is your only day off, please reach out, call the flu hotline. They will get in contact with me, and I will mix vaccine today and administer for persons who wish to have it today.
But they should call
call the flu hotline. So I have some numbers, because we mix them in groups of 6, and I absolutely will do it. I plan to do at least one when I leave here. So if someone wants to come, it would be done at the hospital today, though, and it would be really a small clinic.
Okay. And
but
if not today,
tomorrow we will be back at the airport, and Friday and Saturday we're at the airport for the rest of this week.
Okay. That's good enough.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. One of our listeners says, I agree with a previous caller that many persons are saying what the vaccine will do down the road. I would say, well, they're saying that. I think they're speculating. It's not to do with the needle pain afterwards, etc. Some are saying that it's going to change the DNA in men. There are many young persons who are of this opinion, and it's sometimes not the easiest thing to convince some of the young people. Some are very brilliant young people. The article that you read a few days ago, I think the name is famous. I think that may help. So if I have time during the course of the show this morning after you leave, Dr. Brown, I will share that article again. It was in the Royal Gazette of Bermuda newspaper, and it was written by one of their members of parliament there, talking about the vaccine. As a matter of fact, I'm scheduled to be on his radio talk show along with one of the members of the legislature in British Virgin Islands tomorrow at 2 p.m. on radio station in Bermuda, talking about vaccine hesitancy as well. But I will share that article again that was written by Mr. Christopher Famous.
Now, this is something that I think basic biology and genetics can help us to understand. And I say basic, I don't mean that in any way to be insulting or belittling another person's understanding or intelligence. But just that there's some things that we know that some of us know and others don't, simply because of our professional orientation and our education. So if you think of a cell as and this is the analogy that I use, or the thing that I use, a coconut. We have the big coconut with the whole all the husk on it, and then inside the coconut is the hard shell of the coconut that we would break open then to get the water, or to get the coconut to make the coconut milk.
Right.
So this is a good one for Caymanians. The outer shell is the cell wall. Yes. The outer part of the husk is the cell wall. And we consider that the coconut itself that's inside the husk is the nucleus. So inside the nucleus is where our genetic material lives. That's where our DNA lives. A virus is really a little capsule that encloses RNA, which is a different type of genetic material than DNA. Okay. DNA is a helix strand, 2 strands. RNA is a single strand. I'm not a specialist at that level that I can explain that. I wish I could have Jonathan Smelly here with me. Jonathan, if you're listening, to kind of help explain that. But the mRNA takes one of the spike proteins off of the coronavirus. It's an engineered spike protein off of the coronavirus. It's wrapped into a little fat globule, and it's inserted in the body through the vaccine. That little globule enters the outer part of the coconut, the husk part. It does not go into the little coconut itself where our DNA lives. It does not interact with our DNA in any way. It is outside in the cytoplasm of the cell. So the cell has this liquid inside it between the outside of the husk and the little coconut on the inside. That's a liquid called the cytoplasm. And inside there is where the proteins are going to be assessed by the cell. I do believe that cells, when we get into deeper and deeper biology and get even more powerful microscopes, we're going to see all sorts of people running up and down inside the cells. But that's supposed to be humorous. The inside the cytoplasm now, the cell starts to recognize this protein and develop the mechanisms to destroy it the next time it comes into the body. At no point in time does the RNA from the spike protein interact with our DNA. Our DNA is what makes us human, is what makes us the individual. And I hope that at some point in time we can get this clear understanding out there. I'm sure there are videos on YouTube that will make it probably put better language to it, explain it more clearly than I can, that we can understand that this is truly not something that is likely to happen in any interaction with the vaccine. Once the vaccine goes into the cytoplasm of the cell, the little globule interacts with the little, they have a little name, I can't remember, organelles. The organelles in the cytoplasm decide what they're going to do with this protein to help us to develop the immunity towards the next time it comes into the body.
Okay. We have 2 callers, so I'm going to ask you to bear with us for another commercial break, and we'll let you leave at 9:30 if that's okay.
So I don't get tired.
One of our listeners has also written in and said, of course, Mr. Anderson has already left. They wanted to know, can the patient tell us about the protocols he needed to get better and manage the ebb and flow of his energy and feelings as he tried to resume an active life. So maybe you can speak to that, Dr. Brown, as well. Folks, please stay tuned. 2 callers. As soon as we return from the commercial break, we will take your calls. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
I grew up in a Canadian village with a general store that had just about anything you could ever need. That's what I'm reminded of every time I go into West Bay Pharmacy. It's not just because it's well stocked with necessities and oddities, but also because it's like our community hub. The staff treat customers like friends. Ron and the team of pharmacists have kept my family patched up and flu-free for years, and there are usually a few good laughs mixed in. They are truly taking care of my health and my family's health. West Bay Pharmacy is the very best of Caymankind.
There's nothing like the smell of freshly baked bread. The warm, inviting aroma, the fresh and natural taste. Just like homemade. 100% all-natural, additive-free bread.
Enjoy fresh and natural tasting bread from the iconic Caribbean bakery. Always delivered fresh to your favorite supermarkets island-wide. Forget the imported frozen and thawed and enjoy our freshly baked selection of quality breads and pastries.
Try our classic white and wheat sandwich breads, coconut and raisin breads, hamburger and hot dog buns, and a great selection of pastries. Feed your family fresh with Caribbean Bakery.
Honey, our fridge has stopped working again. Everything in the freezer is melting. We need to get this repaired right away. I'm calling Brand Source Service.
When you need the very best appliance service, call Brand Source Service at 623-5000. Offering service and installation of all brands and models of appliances. Brand Source Service is Cayman's source for appliance parts and repairs with qualified and experienced technicians and the island's largest stock of appliance parts. Brand Source Service will have your repair completed in a flash. So, whatever the problem is, call the experts at 623-5000. Brand Source Service, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Telephone 623-5000.
Why work with a Cereba agent? We can tell you that those letters represent a proven understanding of the real estate market in the Cayman Islands. But it also means so much more than that. Our trained Cereba agents are committed to ethics, integrity, and excellence of practice. It's all about confidence, knowing you are working with a qualified Cereba agent. As members of Cereba, your trust is our promise. To find a Cereba agent today or to search thousands of listens, visit Cereba.com. Cereba, the mark of excellence in real estate.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Dr. Hazel Brown is still with us for about another 12 minutes. And the only reason that she won't get fired is simply because they know that she's on here promoting the vaccine. Two callers. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning to you, O.C., and to Dr. Brown.
Good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
If she's on a talk show back to back, I will call and support the program because I am a firm and a living testament that the vaccine did me nothing. I took it. I'm happy to take it. But I heard Dr. Brown say something this morning that really I listened intently to, and it gave me time for pause. That younger people is hindering the elderly from getting this vaccination. That is really sad because what happens if they come home and bring COVID to those elderly and their elderly die, then they'll be standing up by some casket crying their heads off. When it is proven that really this vaccination was more, from what I can read and understand, it seems to me like it was more geared toward those people as opposed to people in my age group. So I really hope that they will have a change of heart and let their elderly get vaccinated. See to it that they're vaccinated and help to protect them in the event of anything that would come their way. Because we all sit down here, we enjoy the life that we are living, but we have to understand this country can only stay closed for so much longer.
Absolutely.
It is just so much longer.
Yes.
We all want the country to open back up, but we don't want to take the vaccine to get herd immunity. I don't understand it, So I'm encouraging everybody out there, get vaccinated. Those 4,500 that I believe Dr. Brown spoke about this morning haven't got their second shot. it is foolhardy for you to have the first one and don't go get the second one. Go back and take it. I beg and plead with everybody this morning, go and take the vaccine, and so we can get herd immunity, we can get business back to some semblance of normalcy in the very near future. Thanks a lot, O.C., and thanks, Dr. Brown, for all you do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Not bad. I'd like to ask if the doctor can explain whether the AstraZeneca vaccine is an mRNA or a DNA virus.
You know, you put me on the spot here, and I did have that at my fingertips, but I'm not really sure. Let me just...
Well, my understanding
I
is
think
that
Moderna is hold on, I'm coming. Moderna is the other mRNA vaccine, as I recall, but I don't want to tell you foolishness, okay? So that's just no, this isn't, it isn't. AstraZeneca is the non-replicating viral vector using another coronavirus that's been deactivated in some way.
Right.
Moderna is the other one that is the mRNA.
Right. So AstraZeneca is actually using a DNA mechanism, which has to go into the nucleus of the cell. Well, the cytoplasm can't read DNA.
But viruses are RNA.
And no, not all. The HIV virus is the DNA, which is why it's incurable. Well, they're working on changing that, but
okay, I'm not gonna actually debate this because I don't have all that information to hand, and I can get that information.
But you see, this is the discussion that needs to take place, because
I think I think that discussion needs to take place at a different level. The people that we're trying to reach.
No.
Wait. The people that we're trying to reach now, we're trying to encourage. I don't understand what you're talking about, and I'm quite certain that many of our guests, people who are listening, do not understand what you and Dr. Brown are talking about. Now, if Dr. Brown wants to continue to engage you in that conversation, that is fine. But today, at this place and at this time, that really is not the direction that we need to go.
Well, okay, I tried to help you, but if you don't want to help, that's fine.
Well, maybe at another time. You
can cut off the conversation if you want.
No, I won't cut. I won't cut the conversation off. I just hope that you can appreciate that the people that we're trying to reach out to don't really understand all of that.
I'm sitting, listening to the concerns, and that you have fears. And what I'm saying to you is that fear comes about when people don't understand something. And I'm trying to facilitate a conversation by putting my finger right on the spot of confusion. And you're saying you don't want to have the discussion.
Well, because to me, it's more scientific than anything else.
No.
Well, okay, then. Go ahead. I'm going to let you talk for another 5 minutes. Go ahead.
It is scientific, but the point that I'm trying to make is that the doctor made reference to someone else who has the expertise in that area, and perhaps you should facilitate that person on your program.
And then perhaps that's the time for you to call in and talk about it.
Yes.
Right. So what I'm saying is that she was making reference to an mRNA vaccine. That's one possibility. My understanding is that the AstraZeneca vaccine is a DNA, and the what she's talking about it having another coronavirus is that they're using essentially the shell or the body of a virus from a chimpanzee to deliver it into the cell. But and what I'm saying is that the argument that about whether it's safe or not is something a discussion that needs to be had.
And I would say to you, sir, that I agree with you that it's a discussion that needs to be had, and definitely among a segment of our population that understand and are interested in this level of conversation. What I'm like to proffer is that my level of understanding, I don't have the virology background and the information that can adequately respond to your comments and questions. So
let's have the person that you referred to come on the program.
Precisely. If we can have someone else come in, maybe if Dr. Lee were here, maybe he could, maybe not. But I'm sure that if you and I engage in this conversation, we're probably likely to create more confusion than having those persons on who can adequately address this question and this concern.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily trying to have the conversation with you, but to point out to you that is my understanding, that one of them is DNA, and that we need to have this conversation.
Okay, thank you very much, caller, for that.
All right, bye.
Do we have any other callers on hold? One more caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Hartman.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Again, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Concerning the vaccine for those who are 16 and younger, do they have that available as yet, or are they working on it?
Well, the research to support the testing and the evidence to support the use of the vaccine in the 12 to 16 age group, if I remember correctly, is actually going before the FDA. We were hoping this week for approval. It's been presented to the FDA for review, and we're hoping that we'll get that approval soon, but it will only be from the 12 to 16.
Okay, and they don't have any plans on having any available for those who are 12 and younger?
But that would come with further testing and further approval of the vaccine.
Yes, because my concern is even though those who do get the vaccine, they're still able, even though they're not able to get the virus, they're still able to spread it. So as a parent and a grandparent, my concern was, even though I'm not able to catch the virus, if I go around one of my grandchildren who are 4 and 1 years old, I'm able to give it to them. So that's my concern, and was wondering if that would be available soon.
Well, I'm with you there. I'm hoping that we will soon have vaccines available for the under 12 as well, but we have to wait until the research is done, until the vaccines have been declared safe for the younger population, until we know exactly what the dosages are going to be that are going to protect that age group. We're not going to want to move on it until we know that it's perfectly safe for our kids.
Thank you very much, Mom.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. One last one for you, Dr. Brown, before you go. And this one person says, I may have missed it, but in the case of an elderly person who is incapable of deciding either way about whether or not to get the vaccine, and whose relatives are divided as to whether the vaccine should be given, which side of the relative camp will hold sway? Will it be the relatives who are for the vaccine being given, or the relatives who are against the vaccine being given?
It would have to be the legal next of kin.
The person, the legal guardian.
With the legal,
yes.
The legal next of kin.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Dr. Brown. Closing comments?
Well, I just want to encourage, and everybody's been hearing me say this, I just want to encourage our local people to come out and get this vaccine. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to us. We will find the information, as we said to the last caller about the DNA versus RNA conversation. We will have people who can answer those questions. We'll find the information and we'll get it out there. if you just contact the Flu Hotline, any questions, any comments, any thoughts, suggestions, reach out to them. Anybody who has my phone number, by all means, call me. Or email myself, Dr. Lee. And we're very, very willing to come out. If anybody knows of any group that would like to have us come out and talk, to encourage any particular demographic groups, reach out to us. We want to get everybody vaccinated so that we can avoid what we see happening in some other countries. We also want to send our prayers and thoughts to our colleagues, our friends in India, who are really and truly suffering right now, and to those other countries that are experiencing a surge and seeing great loss of life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Dr. Brown, thank you very much for that. One of our listeners wrote in, and I will address this after we return, said, "You just violated my right to information when you stopped that person from sharing information." Says, if people are to be encouraged to take a vaccine, we should hear the pros and cons. And I will address that person's concern when we return. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
There's nothing like the smell of freshly baked bread. The warm, inviting aroma, the fresh and natural taste. Just like homemade. 100% all-natural, additive-free bread.
Enjoy fresh and natural tasting bread from the iconic Caribbean bakery. Always delivered fresh to your favorite supermarkets island-wide. Forget the imported frozen and thawed and enjoy our freshly baked selection of quality breads and pastries.
Try our classic white and wheat sandwich breads, coconut and raisin breads, hamburger and hot dog buns, and a great selection of pastries. Feed your family fresh with Caribbean Bakery.
Did you know the third most important factor for customer retention is cleanliness? With 95% of shoppers saying exterior appliance influences where they decide to shop. Keep your business clean with Roper's Janitorial. From offices to restaurants, interior and exterior, walls to rugs and flooring. Roper's cleans it all, including 24-hour emergency service. Roper's Janitorial, 949-2511, or email janitorial@ropers.ky. Dress your business for success with Roper's Janitorial. We make your business shine. 949-2511. Roper's, providing products and services for better public health.
The Green Turtle app. So many options. One easy solution. All new subscription feature to automate your weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly top-up. Makes your life easier. Never lose a number again. Keep your children on budget. Yes. Make sure you can stay in touch with your loved one. Woohoo. No hassles. Green Turtle makes it easy. Take a ride on Cayman's Green Turtle Express. Choo-choo. Download the Green Turtle app today. It just makes life easier. Remember, you can get mobile gift cards for Xbox, PlayStation, Apple, and Spotify delivered right to your phone. Playtime is now in real time.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Ort Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Dr. Hazel Brown has left us. We do have a WhatsApp message that came in earlier. I think it had to do more about traffic, and we will play that voice note as well. But to the person who has written in and saying that I violated their right to information by sort of curbing one of the callers in relation to getting into some scientific details. And let me say that I apologize for that. But like I said earlier, this particular show at this particular time, that really wasn't the topic of discussion. That wasn't something that we wanted to discuss. And you also would have heard by Dr. Brown's comments to a certain extent. She was not comfortable discussing it either because it is not her area of expertise. Any of us can go and either check with Alexa or Google and find information on there. That doesn't necessarily make us an expert in that regard, as well. So the person says that if people are to be encouraged to take the vaccine, they should hear the pros and cons. And that is what we were trying to share with you, the pros and cons of taking the vaccine. Now, when you start to get into how the vaccine is developed and whether or not one is a DNA and something else, that is a completely different story. And I'm not putting down any of my listeners and stuff like that, but the majority of them, that is not what they want to hear, And the persons that we are trying to reach in terms of being vaccinated, that is not the information that we want to throw out to them that will probably help to confuse them even more. So I just want to say to that. So the discussion can take place here at another time with other individuals who have expertise in that area. And I just want to put my listeners on notice that I will also be discussing another matter when it comes to a person's ability to talk on the show, because I need to address something that was raised on Talk Today on Monday or Tuesday in relation to me and this show, and in terms of me being changed. As a matter of fact, why don't I just deal with that now and cover that? There's a particular individual who calls in my opinion, is very divisive in terms of what is said in the Cayman Islands. There are some people who admire that person for speaking his views. Some may admire him simply because the views that are being expressed are similar to theirs, or they may be reluctant about getting on radio and speaking about it, so they may have a mouthpiece that does that for them. You will recall, or some of you may recall, several months ago that particular caller called on the show and said that OC is a PPM member. I know that. I have the proof. I challenged that caller at that point in time and told him that he would not be able to call on my show again unless he provided proof of that. That challenge still stands today. Now, that individual has been able to get on the show. He called at one point in time when the governor was on here. He has called since. I don't know how, because most times his voice is not recognized until he actually comes on the air, whether or not he gets someone else to dial and to speak and then takes the phone. That is fine. But I will say this, and I say this now. When that individual, if that individual calls on For the Record while I am hosting, I will flatly refuse to engage in any conversation with that individual or have that individual participate on my show unless he brings evidence that I am a PPM member, and I will retain that position. Now, for those of you old Caymanians, my mother's name was Myrtle May Connor, a hard-line woman. I have her genes. I am the same way that she is, hard-line. So if they want to take me off the show because of my position, that is fine too, because while I enjoy what I'm doing, and I am not doing it necessarily for financial reward, I'm doing it because I believe in my people and I help my people. What I'm not going to allow people to get on this show and downgrade the Cayman Islands and spread divisive information and try to divide this country politically or otherwise. That said, let's go to the voicemail, Paul.
Good morning, OC. I'm not sure what your topic is, but I just want to say that I have to get this out there again, that something needs to be done about the drivers on our roads. You know, they are driving dangerously, speeding in a very disrespectful and impatient manner, even disrespectful and impatient with the emergency vehicles. I had an incident yesterday morning, an experience with the ambulance and a driver. You know, I stopped for the ambulance, the paramedics were not finished doing what they were doing to the patient. They were almost finished, but I stopped. But the driver behind me tooted at me to get out of their way. Wow. Regardless of ambulance or anything, I want to get past. But I stood my ground and I stayed there. Well, you know what happened? They overtook me, went driving past the ambulance. The paramedic was still there. They could have knocked him down. So what? You know, they have to get past. People are just driving in the most disgusting, reckless manner. Our traffic laws are broken. Every one of them must be broken every 5 minutes on the road. I don't know where the traffic department, if we have one or not. The traffic police need to be out there controlling these bad drivers. Please, let's have some respect. What is going on our roads is absolutely unconscionable. It is not acceptable at all. Thank you, OC, and have a blessed day.
Okay, I want to thank that caller for that. Yes, and I understand that speeding tickets are really being dished out by the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. A friend of mine said he got a ticket the other day. I think it was $340 or $360, something like that, for speeding was 62 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour zone or something like that. So they're out there, but we really need to appeal to people's conscience and to their sense of safety, and the fact that just like not being vaccinated, if you're out there driving recklessly, you're not only putting yourself in danger, but you're putting other people's lives in danger as well. Let's go to the phone lines. We're going to grab one caller, then go to the commercial break and take the other caller after. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you doing? Congratulations. I got an email, but I haven't had a chance to read that one yet.
Okay, but I'm giving you a better congratulations. Listen, I can give you the website and everything.
Okay.
First of all, Prince Harry's birthday is today, Prince Harry's son.
Okay.
Well, okay, our Prince Harry, the talk show man, the tax man, Larry King Live, Mickey Herbston birthdays today.
Oh, wow, okay, great.
Reba Dilbert.
Okay.
First of all, now listen to me, do you have a pen?
Yes, I do. And paper.
Okay, yes. And it's got to be spaced out. It's called A, there is an apple.
Mm-hmm.
A, design.
Mm-hmm.
Award. Competition.
Mm-hmm.
You got everything? A, designs, award, competition. Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Now you go into that website.
Okay.
When you go into that website, below it, you're going to see winners.
Uh-huh.
When you go in that, if you get to winners, you're going to say winners, and then they can say something there about where you see winners, or these are the winners. And the first thing going to come up is furniture.
Okay.
Then you can have the store right now. We're nearly down to the last. Cayman Islands is nearly down to the last because we're in performing arts. Now, let me tell you what. I didn't know that. I know I got to the finals. But what happened, I was put into fashion. Because some of the outfits are fashion, but then it had a part of wings and so forth. The judges, OC, moved me to performing arts, which is a higher fashion, which is higher.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I got a little tip from one of my friends who introduced me to this, said because they hadn't saw anybody come there that didn't go to college. And the judges said that they wanted my work to be compared with people who went to college.
Okay.
And OC, I docked in with them. And let me tell you, that was the hardest competition, the paperwork. OC, when you read that, Or see, the night before, nights I haven't slept dealing with them because, it's 6 hours ahead. And let me tell you one thing. When they called me about, I believe it was Wednesday, what today is Wednesday, but Monday night around 12 o'clock, I saw it come in. And I haven't slept yet because it was so much paperwork. But the Cayman Islands has came, well, we got 3 silvers. Another country got a silver, and we got the other 3, and another country got the bronze. I got a bronze. So in performing arts, it was really only 4 people that got it. It was 29 people. They put me in, they made me make the 29 one, and the Cayman Islands is in with all 3. And they say it's rarely that somebody gets 3 pieces in. And they say the work was professional, it was good, it was everything. And we're the only Caribbean country that is in.
Excellent.
And
Okay.
you can read everything is there. If you have a problem, Paul knows my number. You can also give it to him because, that's my Honduras DJ.
Okay.
Yeah, so he knew about it long time. I knew about it when Esma called that morning. I told her to hush her mouth up, But, she can't keep a secret, so I wouldn't tell her that I had one. I told her I am. So
Okay.
when she found out, she said, and I got no time, but I can call him. We be going to make people know. I said, everybody will know. And they're asking you also to nominate me for something down below. So you got to go way down to where it is after you get into my work. And you got to nominate me about 3 times for each category that I'm in.
All right.
One is about the Cayman Islands, one is about cancer, and the other one is about carnival.
Okay. Thank you very much again. Congratulations to you, Paul. Let's take that commercial break now, and we still have.
One is about carnival.
And we still have another caller on hold as well.
Commercial break now, and we still.
Did you know that defective airbags can cause serious injury or even death if not repaired immediately? Right now, millions of vehicles around the world are under recall for faulty Takata airbags, and yours could be one of them. At Vant Motors, our priority is to make sure the Toyota or Ford you drive is safe. So we are offering customers a free, fast and easy airbag swap out if your vehicle was manufactured in 2016 or earlier. Find out if you need to have new airbags installed by emailing your Ford or Toyota vehicle's VIN or vehicle identification number to service@vantmotors.com or stop by Vamp's Service Center or call us at 949-2245. Don't risk it. Get the airbags in your Toyota or Ford checked for free at Vant Motors on Walkers Road.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
The Green Turtle app. So many options. One easy solution. All new subscription feature to automate your weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly top-up. Makes your life easier. Never lose a number again. Keep your children on budget. Yes. Make sure you can stay in touch with your loved one. Woohoo! No hassles. Green Turtle makes it easy. Take a ride on Cayman's Green Turtle Express. Download the Green Turtle app today. It just makes life easier. Remember, you can get mobile gift cards for Xbox, PlayStation, Apple, and Spotify delivered right to your phone. Playtime is now in real time.
Hi, I'm remodeling a bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
For the record, with Ort Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with Ort Connor. continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. As promised, we're going straight to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I am like wine. I get better with it. Man, I'm proud of you. Take your stands and stand by your stand.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Very proud to hear you say that this morning and maintain it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's one thing to say something, but the other thing is to prove it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, if you don't have no proof, it's like me going out and saying something about the governor. I could get myself in problems and probably put behind bars.
Yeah, or anyone for that matter. You could be sued for defamation. Yeah.
Yep, that's what getting at, defamation of character. So, I must applaud you for taking that stance.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Have a great day.
We'll have a march if they try to take you off.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. Like I said, I enjoy what I do, and that is why the show is designed the way that it is, because I try to impart information to people. If there's something of national importance, I try to highlight it. I try to not only highlight it, but to promote it as well. And
you do a very good job of it.
Thank you. And like I said, I'm a staunch nationalist. At the end of the day, I believe in my Cayman. I lived in the United States for 15 years, had a green card, never for once had any second thought or first thought about taking out U.S. citizenship, because my intentions at the end of the day was to come back to the Cayman Islands and live here and contribute to my country. And I'm not going to let anyone destroy it. I'm not going to let anyone put it down. And I'm not going to let anyone try to treat me as a second-class citizen or try to threaten me. It ain't going to happen in my time.
Proud of it. Proud of it. I'm one proud one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Take care.
Thank you very much, caller. You have a great day, and please stay safe as well. One of our listeners has written in and said human beings are not perfect in any respect. So why do people expect 100% perfect vaccine as well? You also may have heard me when Dr. Hazel Brown was on here, speaking about the Seychelles and their recurrence of the COVID-19 after they had over 60% of their population vaccinated. Population of about 100,000 persons. They have recorded close to 500 new cases in the 3 days up to the 1st of May, and they also have about 1,000 active cases. A third of the active cases involved persons who had been vaccinated, had 2 vaccine doses, and the rest had either a single dose or one, or were not vaccinated at all. The vaccine that they are using is the Chinese-made Sinopharm vaccine, which was donated by the United Arab Emirates, and there are varying degrees of efficacy as far as that vaccine is concerned. I think in Brazil, they said it was something like had a 50% efficacy, and in other jurisdictions the efficacy rate was may have been somewhere in the upper 70s as well. Any callers on hold, Paul? One caller. And before we go off there, I just want to wish a happy birthday to Mr. Mickey Hurlston as well. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, I'll number one from you, King Sir.
Good morning, number one. How are things up there? How are things going?
I can't tell you, I'm right down here. I just got out of the hospital.
Oh, well, I hope you're doing much better.
Well, at least that's why they send me home.
That's good.
They didn't want no more trouble of them. Listen, I just want to tell you one thing. This is for you. I have something else to say, but don't let nobody scare you.
Oh, no, I don't scare too easy.
You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. Thank you.
And who don't like it, well, tough luck, I said it. You're doing a good job on your show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And don't back down from no one. Don't care who it is.
Never had, never will.
Okay, and the second thing I want to say is this. I hope now that Cayman back now have no big person up in government. I hope this premier is listening and this deputy premier is listening. I hope they start to get more things for the hospital in Cayman back so they don't have to keep sending people down to Cayman for everything. Get more things up there. And when it comes to Alden and Moses, I think they did a wonderful job. That's my feeling. Okay, sir?
Okay. Thank you very much, number one, for that. They certainly did.
And all of you doing a good job there, so keep it up.
And you're doing a good job listening to us and giving us the feedback as well, number one. Stay safe, please.
Okay, sir. I ain't afraid. Have a good day.
Okay. One more caller, Paul? No more callers? Okay. See if there are any messages that I can share. This one says, and eating this. Okay, nothing on that. I certainly don't have enough time this morning to read the article by Christopher Famous on the Royal Gazette. Hopefully I'll be able to do that on Friday. As I mentioned earlier, that the parliamentary prayer breakfast taking place this morning at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. And I hope and I trust that everything is going well there. I also want to remind you that, Paul, is it at 3 p.m.? There will be a government press briefing this afternoon. Will be carried live on Radio Cayman as well. I encourage you all to listen in to that press briefing. There's also a release that was issued in relation to pregnant women and being encouraged to get vaccinated. Again, that is fairly long as well. I will probably try to share a few portions of that. I may go over the time and get Paul in trouble, but let's see. So says that the UK's Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunization has updated its guidance and now recommends that women who are pregnant or breastfeeding should be offered the COVID-19 vaccine at the same time as non-pregnant women. And there's a quote, "This is incredibly welcome news. Vaccination programs have the greatest chance of impacting the spread of the virus if more people get vaccinated. The new guidance enables more women to benefit from the increased protection offered by COVID-19 vaccine." And that's a quote from the Minister of Health here in the Cayman Islands, the Honorable Sabrina Turner. The JVI updated guidance states that there are no known risks associated with giving inactivated recombinant viral or bacterial vaccinations or toxids during pregnancy or while breastfeeding, since these vaccines cannot replicate, they cannot cause infection or in either the mother or the fetus. Clinical trials at the Pfizer, BioNTech, Moderna, and AstraZeneca vaccines with animals found no concerns relating to reproduction or development. So here we have Honorable Sabrina Turner, Minister for Health here in the Cayman Islands, sharing that information and encouraging pregnant women to get vaccinated as well. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and by extension For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today. Join Radio Cayman at 3 p.m. for the government press briefing. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Caribbean Bakery, made Cayman fresh.
Also brought to you by Ropers Enterprises, 122 Industrial Way. Products and services for better public health. Green Turtle. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today. The Ministry of Commerce, Planning and Infrastructure, and by West Bay